Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today I'm going to review the Blu-ray and 4K exclusive Best Buy Steelbook of Midway. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at MovieGuy365, as well as over at the Disney Magic Hour podcast. I'll put a link for that in the description. And before I get started, I want to just announce to everybody that I'm going to be having a giveaway for the Blu-ray 4K combo pack of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. That'll be released on March 31st, and you have until March 31st to enter the contest. I will pick somebody randomly on April 1st. In order to enter, you just need to be subscribed to my channel. You need to hashtag MovieGuy365 in the comments section of this video or any video up until March 31st, and you have to like the videos. So do that. I will pick somebody randomly. Good luck. All right, so let's dive right into Midway. We're going to review the Blu-ray and 4K separately, of course. They both share the same audio, so we're going to go ahead and just do one review on the audio portion. So look for the picture quality and the 4K picture quality of the Blu-ray to be separate, of course. Chapter times are going to be in the right over there, and we're going to do a quick unboxing, so let's get right into this. All right, we have the Midway Steelbook here from Best Buy. Now also keep in mind there is a Steelbook edition over at Target. I kind of like that one a little bit more as far as the artwork goes, but here we have the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook, and then we have all our information on the back as well as our spine. And it's a nice little slipcover. I like that. Not enough Steelbooks have that. So same thing here on the back. A little bit of artwork, and then interior wise, some very nice cover or inside cover art as well as disc artwork. Everything looks very good. Overall, very nice presentation here. Very happy with how this turned out. So all right, now the important stuff. Let's talk about the Blu-ray and 4K picture quality and audio. Now I will say that the picture quality on the Blu-ray is pretty nice. For the most part, I was enjoying the picture. There were a couple moments where I felt that the black levels were a little too elevated for my liking. It wasn't anything serious, but I think for this kind of movie, and it's funny because I did a quick fast forward throughout the whole thing, and there's a lot of nighttime and dark scenes, so that kind of stood out a little bit more to me in this respect. But I would say for the most part, it looks pretty good. The film was shot digitally, and unfortunately, a little bit of digital noise does creep in. I think it's kind of like you're trying to wonder if they were going for more of a vintage style, and that's where we get a little bit of that digital noise or grain to it. But it just looks a little more like to that era. I think that's what they were really trying to go for. It's a little more apparent over on the 4K side, which I'll talk about. But over here, I still feel a very, a good looking picture. I wouldn't use the word clean though. I think because of the style of how it was shot and how it looks, but it looks nice. It does look nice, and it has that kind of retro feel to it. So if that's something that interests you, then you're going to find no problems here whatsoever on the Blu-ray side. Color levels are a little bit muted, but they're like that throughout the film. It's just one of those movies. You just get little pops and bursts of the explosions that look really good, but you're not, even daytime scenes where like right in Pearl Harbor, they're not as bright and cheerful as they could, as you see. I think once again that lends itself to the style of how it was shot and the intention of the filmmaker. But it does look good. It is an overall good looking picture, so I do recommend it on that front. So all right, let's jump into the 4K picture quality. 4K picture quality. I'm very impressed here. We have a nice Dolby Vision encode. It looks great. I will say comparatively to the digital version, which I reviewed here on the channel a couple weeks back, I think it has a slight bump up. It looks good. I mean, that has a lot to do with lack of compression, higher bit rates on physical media, so it's going to look just a little bit nicer, a little bit more full. Now, that being said, this being a digital movie, there's still a couple things that you should be aware of. There is a little bit of digital noise that can be seen throughout the film, whether that was the director's intention on like kind of their version of film grain, because the film does itself have like kind of a retro 40s style look to it. Overall, I mean, the color levels are pretty low, bare minimum. Even the nicer scenes during the daytime over at Pearl Harbor, they look good. They look bright, a lot more over than on the Blu-ray side. But at the end of the day, it still kind of retains that feel to it, that look to it. It didn't bother me. I prefer that kind of style in my 40s movies. It looks kind of cool. But for the most part, I could see where that would bother some people. But for me personally, I think it's a pretty really nice overall good looking image here. Black levels are near perfect. No problems there whatsoever. Just very good levels there. I had no problems in that department. As I mentioned, color level is kind of just, it's a muted overall look. Better than when we get on the Blu-ray side, obviously. That's with assist from Dolby Vision, but it's not out of control. It's not. It's properly restrained per the intent of the filmmaker. And I would say level of detail, I think, is probably the strongest aspect here. So much detail, everything from the ships, the scorch marks on the planes, just the general area, the surroundings, the uniforms, skin textures, all those look really fantastic. I would say, in my opinion, it's personally the strongest aspect of the Dolby Vision presentation. Looks good. I'm very impressed with the overall look of the film. All right, now let's jump into the audio. I have to say, sometimes I get a little nervous on smaller-ish studios like Lionsgate to be able to provide a good, a movie like it's a war popcorn movie with a good audio track. And I'm happy to say that it's a solid audio mix here all around. Dolby Atmos is really on point. I was a little kind of let down on the digital presentation side, but as far as the Blu-ray and the 4K physical copy goes, audio mix, I think it is fantastic. It's pretty demo worthy, to be honest. It's a war movie. There's plenty of scenes of action, especially in that third act. There's a lot going on. It's a very impressive for your sound stage. If you've got a full Atmos setup, 11.2 or even higher if you got it, you're really going to find a lot to enjoy here. I mean, planes are constantly whizzing around your room. You are in the middle of that battle, like lots of battles. Like just everything is happening. They're all firing off on all cylinders. It is a fantastic presentation. Let's start with the fronts. Your front channels have plenty to do, plenty of the action, and they handle that load pretty nicely. Your center channel is, for the most part, it's easy to understand what's going on. Now, there are moments where, like, they're standing next to a plane engine talking, or in that case, you really can't understand what's going on. It's just one of those things that this kind of movie, that has to happen. Very rarely do I hear a movie like this, and when somebody's talking next to a plane or a car, and it's really like revving, can I understand? So I kind of give it a pass a little bit on that respect, but it doesn't take away from my enjoyment. Now, as far as your LFE goes, that thing's working and kind of working overtime at times. It's really a good LFE mix. It's appropriate. It doesn't get overly aggressive. There's a few moments where it really comes to life, and then it's very subtle when it needs to be. Your surrounds, your backs, for instance, there's a lot going on. Those battle scenes, you are in the middle of it all, like you really are. Couple scenes of ambience that also bleed into the background. Pay attention to Pearl Harbor. You can hear kids in the background or something. But those are nice little subtle touches I appreciate as a fan. As far as your mid speakers, they handle transitions really nicely and they operate on their own pretty good. And your heights, they're pretty active, especially. I'm telling you, watch the final battle with Midway. Those things are definitely going to be giving you your money's worth, and there's a lot going on there. It doesn't handle the ambient moments overly well. There's just not a whole lot going on the tops. But I think for the most part, it's a really stunning audio mix overall. Everything's going good. No problems there whatsoever. It's a really fantastic, just Dolby Atmos, and I think Lionsgate should be proud of this presentation. All right, now let's talk about the overall scores. Okay, so for the picture quality of the Blu-ray, I'm going to go ahead and give this score a B+. I think it's strong. Digital-wise, it's a little noticeable as far as digital noise goes, but I think overall it's a very good presentation. You just have to be aware there are a few instances of elevated black levels and that kind of thing. But for the most part, it's a very good-looking image. As far as a 4K picture goes, I'm going to give that one a solid A. I think it's strong. It's about on par with what we got digital, but I think it's a little more well-rounded. Detail definitely comes out more, and black levels are near perfect. And once again, you can't really talk about the Dolby Vision when it comes to the color aspects. It's just it's a muted type of movie, so it's not going to win any points in that direction. But I think for the overall presentation of picture quality on 4K, it's a solid A. Now, as far as the Atmos mix on both versions, that's an easy A+. Really demo material. I could pick 15 scenes in this movie to really show off what it can do. I think you just fire on that, especially that last battle, and you're in the middle of it. You really are. It's a really fantastic overall Atmos mix, and it's a really good quality disc overall. Whether you go for Blu-ray, 4K, I think you're going to be pleased with the results. So that is my review of Midway, the exclusive Steelbook. Let me know in the comments below which version did you get and what your thoughts were. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.